Okay, now we can get excited. Check this out. This is a mirror dash cam. It's made by Campark. I don't even know if Campark's on here anymore, anywhere. There it is. Flip that around so we can all see it. Made by Campark. So, pretty excited about dash cams. As a paramedic, I go to a lot of motor vehicle accidents or crashes, and a lot of things the police are always looking for. One thing they're always looking for is the dash cam to see if anyone had a dash cam, and they get that footage right away to see what happened. So it can be quite useful, especially if you're in a no-fault accident. This particular one, 10-inch, it says, dual lens, 1080p, touchscreen. It's got a front and rear camera, so we'll get into it right away here. I'll open it up. 24-hour parking monitor. That means if your car is ever hit while it's parked, up to 24 hours, because it has an internal battery, this thing will start recording and get all that action for you. Reverse camera and motion detection with GPS. Now that's huge. This is a bit bigger than, or a bit more expensive than a lot of the other ones out there. This one's, I think I paid about $160, $170 for this. But with the GPS feature, that's great from several standpoints. We'll get into that shortly. Let's open it up and see what comes in the box. Ooh, there it is. So this is it. I'll get rid of the stuff we don't need. So this is the lens, or this is the mirror itself, and there you can see me. Hello. So on the back, of course, is the camera that sees the action. This basically just fits onto your rear view mirror existing, plugs into a USB. There's also an audio video in and a GPS in. I presume that's from the antenna that they're going to provide. And then there's a SD card slot, and that's to put in a micro SD card. So I'm not sure how big of an SD card it supports. I usually run a 32 or 64 gig in these things. And that's plenty big to capture, you know, to keep a good long bunch of video in there for you. So there's the mirror itself. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, so in the box, here's your AC power adapter, AC-DC power adapter. So it's going to convert DC 12 to 24 volts. It converts it into 5 volts of DC output, and that's pretty standard for a USB. And here's the backup camera here. So it comes with a camera, a good length of cord to run it to the front, and you'll also have to wire this into your reverse lights of your vehicle so that when you put your car into reverse, the camera comes on and displays in the rear view mirror. So that's a pretty handy function. In this little bag here, you've got 2 sets of rubber band type things for strapping it to the mirror, as well as a plastic tool for routing the wiring. As well, there's some sticky little tabs in there for holding the wire in place. So that's about it. Oh, don't forget the instruction manual. Let's look at that just for a second. So, surprise! Oh, they want you to share your experience. So do a review like I'm doing now, and you may get a bonus deal of some kind. I don't know about that. And here is the owner's manual. So these things are getting better. I will say the Chinese have gotten a lot better in their English use over the years. This one reading quickly. So it says 16 or 32 gig cards are recommended, so that's good. Class 10 and above, right? So quick ones. You know, the English in here is actually quite good as I read through it quickly here. And they show you how and where to mount and etc. The reverse camera, adjusting the reverse camera so that it's in the best possible position. There's a reset button, power, etc. I'm gonna take this out to the car and plug it in here, and you can see it in action here in a second. So it has touchscreen, swipe. I'll read in all this, and let's get it hooked up and see if we can get it playing. So there's a couple other functions here that are important to note. One thing that sets this one apart, and I get a lot of questions on previous models that I've reviewed, does the system record through this camera as well as through the back camera at the same time? This is huge, and yes, this one does. So that's huge from 2 standpoints. First of all, you're recording up front, that's great, you've got all your dashcam stuff there. It's also recording anything that's happening behind you. That's basically a second dashcam that you could buy to put towards the back. This records in full time going backwards, so it has the option of that. So 1080p is the recording, that's HD, that's the smallest HD in the front, and 720p in the back. 720 isn't bad, you can view that quite nicely on a computer. Other features are it has, if the camera unit experiences a rapid acceleration or deceleration, i.e. you're hit from behind or you're hit from the front, it will lock the current recording down. That means you won't be able to delete it unless you intentionally confirm that you want to do so. Otherwise, it records in 1, 2, or 3 minute loop recordings, I believe. And once it fills up the card, it'll simply go back to the beginning and start recording over the unprotected recordings. Another option to that would be simply to turn it off, and then I believe it'll just record one long recording and then start recording over again. So in the interest of showing you how this thing works and not being in a car, I don't have a cigarette adapter in my house. What I do have, though, is a portable battery pack. This I bought elsewhere. Super little unit. Anyway, what I'm going to use this for is powering up this mirror with 5 volts, as most of these things are. So plug that into there, and this will be the same as when you plug it into your car. So let's situate this thing so you can see the screen. I'll plug it in, and when I plug it in, it's going to become live immediately. So it's in, and voila! Oh, there it is. Campark, it says. And that's okay. Insert SD card. Taking your eyes off the road for too long often while using this camera will cause a crash, resulting in injury, death to others. And you know, there's something to be said there. I do catch myself looking at this thing a lot. I've got one in my car currently, and it can be a bit distracting. Although you're looking at what you're actually looking at, it's still a bit weird, and so just watch that when you're driving. Just be careful. Next. Next. Oh, I went too far. I think we can go back. No. So it's pointing out all of the features of this thing. It says micro USB, rear camera connector, GPS, and memory card slot, and then the power buttons on the bottom. Next. Slide vertically. It really wants me to insert an SD card. Let's do that so it doesn't keep telling me that. Got to get it the right way around. And my fat fingers can't put it in there. How about this quarter? There it is. SD card is in. Maybe it'll stop giving... Wait, SD card initialize is done. So it has to set up its files on there. Slide vertically to move the image up and down. Date and time. You're going to do that. Okay, next. Slide horizontally to adjust the screen's brightness. Excellent. So, start, stop, playback, setup, display mode switch, audio switch, and manual lock. These are all the features of this thing. It's going through this startup menu. That's great. So there we are. We're live. You can see my fingers under there. This doesn't have really much reference until we get this installed in the car. You can see the time and date are incorrectly set, and it is actually recording right now, it looks like. So you should be able to touch that and bring it up. Let's go into settings. And loop recording 1, 2, or 3 minutes. Let's do 3 minutes. I like a good long video. Audio on or off. Resolution, let's see where we're at. So right now we're recording in the front camera at 1080p and the back camera at 720. Zoom just a bit so you can get more acquainted. The other option would be, the other option would be 720p in the front and 1080 in the rear. I'm not sure how that would work with that small camera, but maybe it's capable. Let's do that. Travel lapse. When this function is on, the video will be recorded, accelerated by 3, 6, or 9 times. So it'll automatically do a travel time lapse for you. I prefer doing that in post-edit. That way I have more options. So we're going to say no. Move down. Do we go too far? Travel lapse. Auto power off. So 1 minute or 5 minutes. I always set that for 1 minute. That means it'll start up. You'll see what you see in the video camera for 1 minute, and then this thing will go black so you have your rearview mirror back. Auto power off, 1 minute, we already did that. Date and time, so we're going to go through and we can set that all up in here. Let's just pretend that we did it. Oh, it's going to make us walk all the way. Let's go all the way back. Move down to the next thing. Timestamp, that's either on or off. Date, logo, or off. So date and logo, sure, let's leave that on and see what it looks like. It's going to have Campark on your video probably. So let's go back. Language. Here you can see it has Chinese, Japanese, and English. We'll stick with English for now. Light frequency, that's 50 or 60 hertz. So, and of course in North America here we are on 60 hertz. What do we have to do to slide that over? What do I got to do? We got to click on it. Is it automatic? It appears as though the light frequency is automatic. So let's slide down. Screensaver, how long does this thing stay on before it goes out and you can see your rearview mirror again? Probably 30 seconds is a bit long. For purposes of this review, I'm going to leave it on 30 though so we can keep watching this thing. G sensor, So the G sensor is how hard does this thing have to get hit to lock the current file. I'm going to put that to middle, just keep it there, and it'll lock the odd file, but that's fine. You can always delete them. I do want it to lock the file down though if I'm in an accident, so we'll leave it on middle. Next one is parking monitor. How hard does your car have to get hit, or how hard does this thing have to move to start recording when your car is parked for up to 24 hours after you turn it off. Put that on the middle, that way the wind, if it blows your car or whatever, it doesn't affect it. Volume, this is a volume of course of your audio. So it came halfway, let's leave it somewhere around halfway, that's fine. GPS status, this shows the GPS status of all the GPS satellites around us. There's none right now because of course we're indoors. That'll work better outside, I'm sure, in the car. Speed position, it's either miles per hour or kilometers. I prefer kilometers being a Canadian. Restore factory settings. So if you click on that and click yes, it'll restore everything back to the factory default. We don't want to do that. And moving on, format the memory card. So do you want to format everything on your memory card? I don't think I want to because I'm not sure what's on there, so I can do that later maybe. And then here's the system version that I have, Campark R10 2019-0316. Presumably this is the R10 model, built in 2019 February 6th, March 16th, so it's relatively recent. That is it in a nutshell. It's going through the initial thing again. Hopefully it doesn't do this every time. So let's stop recording. There's your brightness. You can adjust your brightness. Dim, bright, dim, bright. That's pretty cool. And there's also a zoom. So let's get something in the picture and let's zoom. Oh, you can move it. Very cool. Can you pinch in and out? No. So you can adjust where the picture looks. You can also adjust the camera as it sits in here like this. I'll move that over so you can see. The camera is quite adjustable. So once you get this thing installed, you can adjust it where you want. In addition, you can slide the picture up and down. So that's pretty cool. I do like this. I do like it. I like it a lot. Audio recording off or on. So this symbol here flips from a front or rear camera. I don't have the rear camera installed currently, so there's nothing to switch to, and that's why it's not doing anything. And here we're going to play some recordings. So we have the recording that we just did here, front camera and rear camera, and this is the one of one is this one. Oh, wow. There you go. It's recording me. So that's what we just recorded. That's pretty cool. We don't need that. Yes, let's delete that. Bye-bye. And we're back. So to get back to the main menu, how do we, oh, right up here. There it is. And this screen will go dark after 30 seconds of driving because I have it currently set to that. Typically I think I'd have that set for, and it's recording right now. Stop. Typically I'd have that set for about 10 seconds, I would think. Okay, so let's go get this thing installed. To turn it off, we hold down the bottom button and it goes away, it goes off. Okay, so that's it for that portion. Now let's go put it into the car. I'll put some pictures up of it in the car installed. And here's some footage of it working with audio. Thanks for watching.